Welcome to Seat Time, everybody, the off-road show that brings you all the results, news, and online shenanigans that make being online a good time. We'd like to say thank you to Fly Racing for their support of Seat Time. Please go check them out at flyracing.com. Welcome to Seat Time, everybody. Brian Pierce here. Man, what a crazy evening for episode 159. We've had quite a few technical difficulties. Hopefully, everything works out and things go. Jordan and I were hoping that we could talk a lot about our weekends, and if that happens, we'll get to do that a little bit later in the evening. If not, that's okay too. But this is Seat Time, presented to you by Fly Racing. Those fine folks have supported us for a long time, and they support our scene, so definitely go check them out at flyracing.com. Kenda Tire, great tires. They're going to be supporting, they do support the National Enduro Series. They're going to be out there at round 3 this coming up weekend here in Texas. Looking forward to hanging out more with those guys. They're super cool. KendaTire.com if you want to learn more about those guys, of course. And then Stillwell Performance, another longtime supporter of Seat Time, does a great job. Just got a new 350 XC. Going to be sending my suspension off to him after the National Enduro. Looking forward to that coming back. Obviously, not only has I've ridden Stillwell Performance suspension done before, but as well his 4CS work by Dirt Rider, 5 stars. Tons of reviews that have been awesome. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what he can do with that to kind of step that up. So of course, Seat Time, you guys can find us on Facebook, find us on our site, find us on all the social medias. Just search for us. You're going to be able to come up with it and figure out where we are. So let's see. Tonight we're going to have Thad Duvall on and then Ty Tremaine after the fact. Thad Duvall, a lot of changes in his program, I think. And so it's going to be interesting to see what he has to say about that. I really want to hear about his backstory, all that kinds of stuff. So did you have a good weekend, though, quickly? What do you think?
I did, yeah. We raced the Blackjack Enduro up in Tulsa, and it was fun. It was gnarly. How about you?
Yeah, oh my gosh. Yeah, racing the TCCRA was awesome. We were supposed to be heading to the Zinc Ranch 2-day Enduro, but with the cancellation of Saturday's event, and then we have 3 kids in the RV, 4.5 hours, we were just like, oh my gosh, are you serious? Like, this is going to take forever, the drive, and it was only going to be there for like 26 hours. It's kind of like, man, at this point, I hate to say this, but we're going to just go to the local TCCRA race. Yeah. We almost thought about calling the whole weekend to quits, and then Tam and I were just talking about it, and it was like, you know what? We're all packed up. We're ready to go. We got the bikes in the RV. The 4-wheeler's ready. It's not even dirty. We could totally get it dirty. So at that point, that's when we decided, hey, we need to rock and roll, and we need to get to a race. So TCCRA was good. I had fun. Got 4th place out of 6 people, which, hey, I didn't get last, and I only crashed. I only technically crashed once.
I wish I could say the same.
Stalled the bike a couple more times than that.
Yeah.
But
hey,
do
what
recluses.
You can do.
Huh?
Gotta get you a recluse.
Funny enough, one of those got ordered today.
Nice. That'll be nice for this weekend.
Yeah, that'll be nice for this weekend. So fingers crossed it shows up. It's supposed to be here on Thursday. I've even got the UPS notification that says it's on the way. And it's one of those things where I kept playing with the idle screw to really try to see, like, hey, is it me? What is it? Yeah. And obviously there is some bit of a learning curve when it comes to a 4-stroke. I feel anyway, just like from coming off of the 2-stroke onto the 4-stroke, that I had to figure this kind of stuff out.
Yeah.
But as well, like, you could even feel in my back shoulder, like it was a little sore, and I was like, you know what?
A little sore?
Yeah.
I can barely walk. But I mean, the back hurts, shoulders hurt.
Man.
All
right, we'll talk about our stuff a little bit later. We got Thad Duvall on. We're ready to rock and roll. Technical difficulties? I don't know what's going to happen. We're going to see. But hey, happy St. Patty's Day. I've got my green beer. So Mr. Thad Duvall, congratulations on your podium finish this past weekend at the Max's General. How is your evening going, kind sir?
It's going good. Just back down in Florida for a couple more weeks till North Carolina, and then back home. But just enjoying life right now, man.
Nice, dude. Yeah, so you're actually living in Florida for a little bit. Is that for training purposes?
Yeah, I got the opportunity to come down to Orlando, Florida, about midway through January. There's a couple boys, Luke Parson and Ben Parson. They raced the GNCC and Open A and Fortune Daylights last year. I got the opportunity to come down and stay with them this year, and it's been awesome. I've almost been down here for 2 months now, and it's been really good for me to be down here with them guys. Them guys are really motivated. They're still pretty young and stuff, so they're all the time like, let's ride. So it's good for me, and pushes me to be a better rider and a better worker.
Nice. Well, Jordan, I have to say, right off the bat, would Thad Duvall hasn't had horrible years lately on the Honda by any means, but at the same time, I don't think it's the years that he's wanted. Now, he's come out and gotten a 4th and a third so far on the Husqvarna with the KR4 Arrive and Ride crew. So how do you? I mean, what do you think about his performance so far?
That's like really put on the spot there, but I say good job, adjusted to the new bike well. I assume the new program. I'm interested in how that adjustment went and took place over the winter, and I don't think you were on the bike too long before the first of the season, so interested to hear about that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, tell us about how it all kind of came about and when it came to fruition and how you started making that adjustment.
I got done with 6 days this year in November and wasn't even back home yet. I was still in the airport, I think in Argentina, and I got a text message from Fred Andrews and the KR4 team, and Fred really wanted to give me an opportunity this year. And when we found out I was going to be on a Husky, I was really game for it. And they wanted me to ride the 350, so I was super stoked, and I was hoping it was going to work out. It really wasn't set in stone yet. It was just kind of a hearsay thing, and finally, got home and made it all happen. I ended up getting the bikes the beginning of January. Really wasn't on them that much. I was on it one time before I came to Florida, so came to Florida just kind of blind with the bike and really got used to it, and just from there it all went down. It was crazy because when I first got to ride the bike, I rode at a local moto track that just opened up, the Club of Willow Creek, and I was on the bike 20 minutes, and I thought I felt faster than on my Honda, and when we put lap times on it, 20 minutes on the bike, and I was already faster than what I ever turned all summer on the Honda. So
wow.
It was quite a shock. It's been a long time since my dad looked at me and said, "Wow, you are impressive on this bike." And it's been a while since he looked at me and said that to me, and it was awesome. That was like a sigh of relief for me, or saying, okay, maybe I did make the right choice switching over. And looking back on it now, I can't thank Fred Andrews enough for texting me and giving me the opportunity, and the whole KR4 Arrive and Ride team. Frank Keegan, he put this all together a couple years ago, and I think with him and Fred, we can be a winning duo.
Yeah, and I definitely want to get into kind of like the meat of a little bit of what your your off season looked like. But I think a big thing is a lot of people know that Fred Andrews can create champions. He's done it in the past, and then unfortunately, kind of like with the different bikes manufacturers that he worked for, different teams, if you will, and manufacturers he's had with his team, and then all of a sudden with the selling of Husqvarna, he didn't really have a job per se, kind of got left to hang to dry, and then he gets hired by KR4 with Frank Keegan to come and help out with his the next level of his KR4 program, and it seems like they are doing a fantastic job. Now that you're a part of that and not just kind of on the outside looking in, what is it that maybe Fred Andrews is doing a little bit different? What is it that Frank Keegan's doing a little bit different? What is it about the KR4 program now that they've got that kind of higher level with Fred Andrews that you think is doing so well and that's helping you out so much?
I just think it's a good team all around. I think what they're doing is awesome, and with Frank and Fred being both past racers, I think they understand what Nick Davis. Look at Nick.
Yeah, exactly.
He won Florida and he almost won Georgia, and I think they know what we need to be championship competitors and contenders, and I think they're willing to do whatever it takes. And with their background being such full-time racers, I think it's good for me and Nick, and even Frank, he comes up to me sometimes and tells me, hey, top 5 is fine. This is just a building couple races and stuff. And, even Fred's like that. And it's good for me, like my dad, he was always a racer, so he was always a mentor. But, I always looked up to Fred, and, we've tried to work together the last couple years ago, and it just never really fell into place. And finally it did, and, I'm super stoked. And, I think what they do for the whole racing career is awesome. The whole sport is about amateurs, and what they do for them is so awesome. And I love being involved with the team and what they do. And I think it's awesome that I get to work with the kids too, and be there and help them if they have any questions and stuff. And so it's cool. I just think they have a good atmosphere. With the KR4 thing, they have a complete separate trailer for me and Nick and a couple of the afternoon racers, and they have a whole nother trailer for the amateur in the morning and minis and stuff like that. So, they keep it separated, but at the same time, we're all still one big team, and I think it's awesome for what they do.
Yeah. When we got a chance to go to Big Buck last year, we had so much fun with that. And it's funny because at the time they still had the two kind of they had 3 trailers actually. They had like the big huge one that they were still carrying around. I think they sold that one off, and a little bit smaller one. And that's where Steven and I were hanging out and sleeping with, and that was kind of the morning the morning and mid-morning ones that you're talking about. And then we didn't even know that on the other side, where the had the pit, the pro pits, was where the third trailer was, and that's where we come to find out is where the moonshine is kept. So we were excited to find that third trailer because that was where our night, I guess, officially started, and then technically officially ended, because it's like everything kind of like woohoo, and then it's like woohoo, like face plant into the fire later on, and luckily Big Stu can he can save the day, so that's always nice of that guy. So we were super stoked with the KR4 Arrive and Ride program that we did. And for those of you who don't know, that is kind of a program where you can come in and rent a bike and race it at GNCC, so you don't have to travel with your bike. So what Thad is a part of is definitely that upper echelon. It's not really part of the Arrive and Ride part of their program, but at the same time, I'd imagine that you are just as into that family atmosphere that those guys help create so well. Now, having not known you all that long, I don't really know you that personally. How do you take to that? I mean, are you totally a family kind of like hangout guy? Do you enjoy that atmosphere, or is it a little bit of pressure for you? Is it something you're not comfortable with?
No, I'm super comfortable with that.
Okay.
Like me, my parents, we're super close, and I still live at home with them and everything. And we always say a family that races together stays together. So the whole family atmosphere there is so awesome. We've always known Fred and Amy and Fred's parents and stuff, and we've always, even when I wasn't even with KR4, they would always, if I needed a line in the woods or something, they were always help. They really help out everybody, and I think it's so cool. And personally, I like having all the family around. Even like all the kids, I like having them around. I try helping them out and stuff. And it was kind of cool. Saturday, we had a little KR4 meeting and stuff with the kids and stuff. And even Amy, Fred's wife, had me mention some things about what to do on Sunday and stuff. And all the kids and the whole family, everybody was there, and it was cool that I get to be involved with that. I'm a huge family man, and I love to be affiliated with that, and they've almost taken us in. It's so awesome. They're willing to cook for us and take care of us. And even like our trailer, there's always food, there's always snacks, there's always drinks and stuff. So I really enjoy the whole family atmosphere behind the KR4 team.
Yeah, no, I would too. And you guys, obviously, you guys were still racing GNCCs before a program like this was around. How would that have changed it for you? With you guys living in Texas and wanting to go out there, do you think a program like this would have been something that y'all would have wanted to be a part of, or you could have left your bike and pay them a little bit to kind of...
Oh, yeah, definitely. That would have been awesome. I mean, we would travel 1,000 miles on average one way, so being able to leave bikes and fly back and forth and able to get to school and work and stuff and be in that kind of atmosphere. I mean, the team that I was on, Thad, we were on the team together, and it was family-centered, but it sounds like they've really taken it to the next level, taking care of the amateurs like they're taken care of, and just incorporating it into such a big family event. I think that's really awesome. That's what the racing's always been about. I mean, off-road racing is a family deal, and so the fact that they take it as far as they do at the National Series, it's really awesome to see.
Yeah, it's got to be tough, too, because of the fact that there does have to be that separation.
Yeah.
Because if you can't have too much of the not amateur type people, like working their way into the pro, but it's,
but
everybody
serious.
has to keep their head on straight. Yeah. In all of their specific stuff. So let's talk a little bit about the Husky. Let's get bike specific, if you will. Now, you said that you felt really good on this bad boy right off the way. So are you on a 350 or are you on a 450? What bike are you actually on?
Yeah, I'm on the 350.
Okay.
It suits me the best. I think, it's almost, for me, it's almost riding a 250 with a 450 power almost. Like last year, I was bouncing around from 450 to 250 on the Hondas, and I can really never get a happy medium.
Right.
So when I did, I was super stoked when the 350 came about, and that was the first thing that me and Fred talked about. What bike would I want to ride and stuff, and the 350 came out, and I was like, yeah, like let's do it for sure on the 350, and It's such a sick bike. I absolutely love this bike, and for me, like honestly, it's the best bike I've ever rode, hands down.
Yeah. That's awesome.
That's
That's awesome.
Serious statement. Yeah.
That's a very serious statement. You are right, Jordan. And ignore my ignorance, but I do believe, before the Hondas and all that kind of stuff, you were on Yamahas for a long time. Was there ever a KTM or more of a Euro style bike in your past?
Like, yeah, don't get me wrong. I mean, Yamaha and Hondas were both great bikes.
Oh yeah, no. I'm just wondering if there's like a lot of
Yeah.
Euro kind of background with you at all, or is this really your first time throwing a leg kind of over a non Japanese manufactured motorcycle?
I've maybe taken like 2 or 3 laps on a KTM. That's it. Like
Okay.
I've never even put time on one. So when I made this decision, I was a little nervous because I really didn't know what to expect. And some people really like them, or some people really dislike them. So when I did first ride it, I knew probably the whole first moto I rode, I probably had a smile from ear to ear. 'Cause it fit me so well, and I feel like my corner speed is almost doubled on it. It just, the way it handles and stuff, and the way the whole power is transferred over is really, really good. And like I said, like coming onto it, I had no prior experience with any KTM or Husqvarna ever, so it was good.
Man, well, that's cool that it went that well. And you recently rode a KTM 250, and at any time were you kind of like, man, I could ride this bike? Like,
Yeah, I mean, it was fun. It was
like
awesome.
if somebody just gave it to me. I'd show her.
If it were free, I would do. I'd ride anything for free. But no, yeah, it was fun. It was good. We talked about a few things here and there that we would change, but yeah, it was fun. But the 350, I feel like that is a perfect fit for you. Although, I mean, I don't know too much about your riding, but spent a little time watching you and stuff in the past, and it's like you could easily be the fastest guy on the track, but sometimes, it's like having a little bit less power sometimes is faster, and so I feel like that really did benefit you well going from the 450 to the 350.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It was definitely a better fit for me. The 450, I think I just pushed it to the limits too much on it, and I'd really, really get in trouble on the thing and get hurt. But with the 350, I feel like I can go my super fast pace and feel comfortable on it and not feel on the edge. And like at Georgia, I could push so hard and still be in control and be comfortable enough where I knew I wasn't going to really be out of control.
Right.
Florida, there was a couple times where I was on the edge and I didn't really feel comfortable. I backed it down, and that's one of the things coming into this year. I told myself that I was never going to ride over my head this year. If I was in 5th, that's perfectly fine. I just want to be consistent and finish every race, and that's the problem I had before. And it's just a whole new atmosphere this year for me. I feel comfortable knowing that, some days I might not be a top contender, and I need to be okay with 5th and 6th and 4th, even though I was terribly upset with 4th at Florida. But other than that, I feel good on the 350, and I truly love the thing.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
I do want to get Jordan on my 350. I wish there was a better chance for at the National Enduro to make that happen. So I did just get a 2015 350. We've talked about it a little bit already tonight, but I already at the TCRA, I was just like, I enjoy this thing way more than I thought I would. I mean, I really did. And I'm coming off a 300 for the past 4 years. The first year it was a 250, and then I put the up kit, if you will, to the 300, the bigger head and everything. But yeah, no, I'm super stoked on that bike, and it's a shit ton of fun. And if it had been a 450, my arms would have been ripped out of their socket after this weekend, like for sure.
I feel like that would be me on the 350, but I have raced Cooper's 450 before, and I have to race this bike for point situation. My bike broke down or whatever, and that was gnarly, but it'd be fun to take a lap. Maybe
Yeah.
on the 350.
It was pretty damn bitchin'. Well, didn't you get a chance?
I like the button.
Oh yeah. It's a little disconcerting that does the Husky have a Kickstarter?
No.
Yeah, that's just like mentally
and see,
disconcerting.
Throwing it to Georgia, like the 4th lap, I fell, and I must have flamed the bike out when I fell, and that thing would not start, and I was hitting the button and hitting the button and hitting the button. I'm like, man, I wish this thing had a kicker.
See, I wish they would, because people that run Recluse is like, if if the battery dies or something and you've got a Recluse, how are you can't bump start it. I mean, how are you gonna get it going?
Yeah, and it's weird because like somebody in Thad Duvall's shoes, who is a professional off-road racer, they put not only are the bikes better than what I'm gonna race, but they're tuned way different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The compression's a lot different. There's a lot more going on internally than a bike I'm ever gonna ride, and they're gonna put that bike through a lot more. So for somebody like Thad Duvall, I think it's not good for them to not have a Kickstarter.
Yeah.
But for somebody like myself, I'm
You can
never
make
gonna.
it work.
It's gonna happen. It's okay. Like, but there's always that weird spot. I mean, at one point that happened with street bikes, and everybody was like, "Oh, we need our kicks," you know. But obviously, Thad was having an issue where the way that he wrecked, it was kind of like, "Oh crap, is it gonna actually kick over with just the button?"
What do you mean by, like you just said that, like I have like I'm trying to think how to explain it. Like my bike is completely stock.
Oh, well, I guess that was an assumption on my part in the sense that that you guys would do internal greatnesses of things that would scare me and make my butthole pucker, that wouldn't be fair to anybody around to hear that sucking noise as it's trying to bring gravity back to the earth.
Yeah, I mean, we throw a pro circuit pipe on it. You know, I have 4CS forks from Factory Connection, and you know, we do a couple on-in stuff, but when that bike comes to it, it's almost off showroom floor. You know, I prefer a kind of like a stock bike feel, and you know, we're definitely no rock star factory Husky, but you know, with Fred and stuff, we get the job done with the resources we have. And,
absolutely.
You know, it seems to be working good so far.
Hell yeah! Maybe what we need to do is we need to get some custom clutch covers that have the Seat Time logo on them.
There you go.
I mean, shit, you'd be like so much faster.
Totally.
It'd be like 10 more horsepower.
Oh, buddy, man, it would be so fast. For sure. Well, cool. Okay. Well, are you going to be doing any national enduros this year?
Yeah, I think I'm going to do a couple. I want to do a couple of the national enduros. You know, I think I'm going to do a couple LMAs. I really enjoyed them a couple years ago when I did them. Just some odd and end stuff. You know, we talked about the Tennessee knockout race. So I'm really kind of getting everywhere, and you know, I really wanted to do the second round national enduro, but just me being in Florida and just the timing was a little bit off and stuff, and you know, you're definitely gonna see me around. I really want to do some of the sprint enduros too, because they look pretty awesome. They look more my style and stuff. So I'm excited for this year. You know, years past, you know, I kind of get wore down with racing and everything, but this year it's just kind of like, you know, I really want to start getting out there and racing places and meeting different people and getting the whole Husky brand out there and stuff. So it should be fun.
Right on.
Awesome. Sounds like this was a good change for you. Sounds like you got a good attitude and ready to roll.
Yeah, you know, it's fun. I'm really excited to be on this team this year.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Wicked, man. So we got the third round of GNCC coming up here in a couple weeks. How do you carry this momentum that you've come from a fourth to a third? You know, how do you carry that into a second or a first?
Just keep doing what I'm doing. You know, I enjoy being in Florida down, like I said, with the boys. You know, they're always pushing us to ride and stuff. So I'm excited. Just I got to be smooth and consistent this year, and that's the biggest thing. You know, North Carolina really, I don't know, it's been really bad to me. You know, I dislocated my hip there, broke ribs. I don't know, for some reason that track just is jinxed for me. So just want to get through there healthy and get on the big buck. But, you know, I just keep grinding this week and riding and mountain biking. You know, we've been doing a lot of mountain biking, and it's fun. It kind of switches things up a little bit, and just keep a level head for me. That's the biggest thing. And you know, if I don't walk out of there on the podium, I need to be okay with it and stuff, and top 5, and just be consistent this year. So just keep it going, I guess. I don't know, really.
Right on, dude. Well, cool. Well, Bad Thad, I'm glad to see that things have gone really good for you. Not that, you know, you've obviously had a lot of fun. You've done well on the bikes before, but I think this is probably one of the stronger beginnings of the seasons we've seen from you in a really long time. So congratulations on the new team, and congratulations on things looking so awesome.
Yeah, thanks. It's been awesome so far this year. The team has really been good. I can't thank the K4 team, Fred Andrews, the whole Rocky Mountain ATV squad. There's some awesome sponsors behind us, Fly Racing, just everybody out there. It's great that they still give me the opportunity to keep doing what I do. And, I'll be honest, I haven't had the best past couple years, but, I feel like this is a new sign of life for me. And, I enjoy riding again. It's fun. And, I'm really, really looking forward to this year. I feel like I can go out and win races, and, it's going to take a lot to get Caleb off the top of the box, but I feel like the team that I have behind me and, my parents, my fiance, and just the whole atmosphere of the team, I think we'll be able to get up there and start clicking off some wins.
Right on. So how's he do with the next one, Jordon?
I say a second. Keep moving on up.
Oh, I like it. I like it.
Sorry. I should have said first. That was kind of
no, it's good. It's
not bad Thad anymore, man. He's not gonna jump through the computer at you.
No, but just I want to keep building and getting stronger and stronger. And it's crazy because every time I do ride my Husky, I get more comfortable, and we find ways to make it better every time I ride it and stuff. And I'll see how it goes. I guess hopefully we start getting some wins, and start getting up north to the rough stuff. And I think the 350 is definitely the bike of choice for me.
Right on. Well, to make sure that we were told from the chat room that you should probably just go steal whatever you need from Hollywood. So maybe you know what that means. Maybe you don't. We're just gonna go with it.
He's really Hollywood's hooked me up. I can already say that. So we'll see how it goes.
Nice. Get some of those highfalutin cams, some of the badass throttle bodies. And then you'd be like, yeah, now I know what Brian was talking about. This is so much better than that peon life.
I don't need that stuff, man. I just need a few things here and there, and we'll get the job done.
Right on, dude. Well, thank you very much for being on the show. We appreciate it. You have fun out there, and we'll chat soon.
Awesome. Thanks for having me on. I think you guys got a little crush on me because I'm on here all the time.
We do. I mean, she talked about watching you riding. To me, that only means that she was probably staring at your butt.
Totally.
I know. I haven't seen Lil Milly in a couple years, so hopefully it's all going good.
I was waiting for it, and there it goes.
I had to throw it out there.
Appreciate that.
Glad everybody's doing good. So,
and I can tell you're a connoisseur of facial hair, so that's why I have a keen influx towards you. So
I Amish beard. The full max. I'm gonna grow it out, man.
I got a picture for you. I did that for 4 months. And didn't have just a straight Amish beard, and it got to the point where when people started asking me, like, if I change religion, not that I have a problem with that or anything, that's when I was like, it might be a connotation now that this beard has gotten very serious. So I was like,
yeah, okay. I went and got a haircut the other day in Georgia at a Walmart right before the GNCC round, and the chick was like, "Hey, where are you from?" I'm like, "Oh, West Virginia." She's like, "Are you Amish?" I'm like, "No."
You're like,
it was so funny.
It's getting awkward.
Yeah.
Oh, heck yeah, man. Well, you have fun out there, and we'll chat soon.
Yeah, good luck.
All right, sounds good, man. See you.
Peace. Awesome. No, Thad Duvall really has been kicking butt this year, and it's great to see him come out so strong.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I think there may be a lot of people out there that were like, how's he going to do on this team? KR4 is a great team. Mm-hmm. They've been making a lot of strides. But are there going to be somebody that could support somebody at Thad's level?
Yeah.
And I say that, maybe there are other people that are like, oh, well, what's Thad's level? How's he been this, that, the other? And sometimes he just needs that good program to really be able to work
Definitely.
with it. And it seems like he's being able to get that.
Yeah.
So I think it's awesome.
Yeah, it's been a good fit.
Yes, I would agree. One of the things somebody was talking about, has Husky made any changes to the KTM yet? Kind of. From what I know, that was kind of a question while we had Thad on, but a big thing I think with that is it's still that same relationship we saw with Husaberg and KTM, where the Husabergs wore a KTM, but what they did is they did internals a little bit different. They did their own dampening when it came to suspension, things like that. Yeah. So with that, I think that's still to this point what we're seeing, the big differences with KTMs and Huskies like that. The reason why it's so prominent that it's kind of a KTM and a Husky kind of thing is because of the fact that they put so much money into the Husky brand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where with the Husqvarna brand, it was really just it was meant to be an enduro brand and to kind of keep the enduro world, that brand alive within that world. So
Yeah.
that's what I've gotten from riding. What did I ride there? I rode that FE 350 last year at the Concho National Enduro. And yeah, it felt like a KTM, but it did things just a little bit different on the Brappy side.
Yeah.
You know what
Makes
I'm saying?
sense.
On the Brappy side.
Yeah.
Man, Tremaine, what are you doing at your house?
I'm just hanging out, getting ready to do a nice Leprechaun Day dinner.
Ooh. Any green beer?
No green beer. I'm only 19.
I was about to say, it's like...
I got some squirt.
Woo!
Green squirt.
Yeah, we've got Lil Milly over here. She's got her, what is that stuff even called?
Green Gatorade.
Green Gatorade.
It's green apple, and it's not...
It is green Gatorade. It's not called green Gatorade.
Well, what do you mean? What is it called?
It's
called Gatorade.
Man, Cooper, how do you deal with this, man? Goodness. Well, Mr. Ty Tremaine, we appreciate you coming on the show. How is your jet lag?
You know what? Me and my dad were just talking about that. We are definitely feeling a little jet laggy, but should be good by hopefully the end of the week, just in time for Salt Lake City Endurocross.
Nice. So at 19, though, with your dad overseas for some of these super enduros, you could still find some mischief, I could imagine, after the races are over.
Yeah, we're still a bunch of racers, so we're not there to party. But after the races, there's definitely a little bit of excitement going on.
Yes, I can only imagine. We've talked about it before on the show. The after party for X Games last year with all the dirt bikers was quite awesome. It was, epic was probably a word that I would use. And so I can only hope to assume that they would have done some of the same things when they were traipsing around Europe with that same kind of enthusiasm. So, dude, how's the year been for you? I mean, like, we know you just got the Super Enduro Championship, or the Junior Championship, which is just phenomenal, especially with the RPM team, just like super, super support for them. But how stoked are you on that? I mean, that's just got to be ridiculously awesome.
Yeah, I'm super stoked. I put a lot of effort into this season. I definitely did all my training and testing. Actually, I see the Stillwell sticker in the background there. Alan Stillwell,
Bam.
He helped me out tremendously. So
he's pretty good at what he does, isn't he?
I think he's definitely the best I've used so far.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, championships are always great, and they're definitely, hard to achieve. So I was super excited to be able to go over there and show those guys,
that you're a 19-year-old badass on a dirt bike.
Yeah, it felt good.
I think luckily we got a chance to watch some of the live events that were going over there at the Super Enduro. The season was a little bit longer this year, which was probably tougher on you guys flying back and forth so much. But you've done a lot of enduro crosses. At one of them in Atlanta last year, you even thought that Jordon somehow could do 114 push-ups. What's the big differences? Kind of break that down for us. Like, there's a lot of people that watch this show that are very big enthusiasts of endurocross, and we get that. But, from what we've seen on TV, we could tell it's a little bit more narrow. It's maybe not as gnarly. Maybe it's gnarlier. So break it down from a rider's perspective for us, the big differences in what you experience between the series.
Yeah, so basically the biggest difference is here in the States we have Schaefer tracks that go to every race and build the track so you kind of know what to expect. And over there, you're not going state to state, you're going country to country. So you got different people building different tracks in every country. So you're kind of going in blind every weekend hoping for something good, and you're either going to get what you would like or not. Some tracks suited some guys better than others. But overall, I think the tracks are similar because it's endurocross, but at the same time, Finland, they were over a minute lap times. And so just last weekend in Daytona, they were 30-second lap times. So there's definitely differences, but at the end of the day, it's still an endurocross track.
Right. Really interesting, actually, what you said about Schaefer tracks. So here in the States, they've hired a track crew, essentially, that either travels with or goes to each event and builds the endurocross. So there's probably some consistency there with how obstacles are built and things like that, like things they're bringing with them, elements of the track. But, man, how different is it when somebody in a different country every single time is building that track? Does that consistency just doesn't exist?
Yeah, I mean, for example, in Poland, the mid race track maintenance, they brought a bunch of guys out there with shovels, so they were using shovels to fill up the ruts. Where here in the States, they go out there and in 5 minutes they got it all flattened out with the skid steer. So
Right.
stuff like that's been an eye opener for sure.
You know, with what you see in Europe sometimes in the over-sexualization, I think, of some of the trophy girls, which, you know, some of us complain about that and some of us are totally fine with that. I'm surprised they didn't have the trophy girls out there with the shovels fixing the tracks, because honestly, like, it's like anytime they can put a chick in small clothing or really tight stuff, they're going to do it.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, but one thing over there too is they have like fire dancers, and it's a really big production. It's a show. It's crazy.
Fire dancers.
Fire dancers. Did you get a chance to do any fire dancing?
No, I did not.
Did you get a chance to hang out with any fire dancers?
No.
Ty, you're 19. You're in Europe, bro. You're just come on back.
I know, but
Your dad?
you
Yeah, I
can't
know.
talk.
You're with your dad.
It's
Blah blah blah.
Language barrier.
communication barrier.
Language
And doesn't
barrier.
that make it easier? I mean, when you're at a bar, you're always like, how do I? Hey, you're just like American. What up?
Yeah.
Apparently, you need to take me with you as your mechanic and leave your dad at home.
Yeah,
I don't know
think
if that'd
so.
be a wise choice. Ty.
I'm married. I can't do anything stupid, but I can try to figure out how Ty can. No, are you going to be? I think I saw that you posted an X Games invite. Is that correct for this year?
Yeah, I'll definitely be there.
Awesome. That's going to be so much fun. Will you be 20 by that point?
I will not. Man. I'll be
Young
20
buck.
in November.
20 in November. Two
Young
more years
buck.
before we get to break you in proper, like,
Two
well,
more
I
years.
guess legally anyway. Who knows? Who knows how that happens? Oh man. So, how long have you been with the RPM team?
I want to say I'm going on my third year. It started off just me talking with them. I was riding KTMs, and then my first year signing with them was awesome, and it just gave me a lot of confidence knowing that I had people behind me. So the next couple of years after that until now, I've just been giving a lot more effort and trying to bring more for them because they do so much for me. So
Absolutely.
I feel like with my good results, it contributes to them and pays back towards me.
Hell yeah! I'd say with a championship at the Super Enduro, that's fantastic results, not
Yeah.
just good results. I think that's. I mean, I haven't done it, so I don't. think I
Not many
could
can say they
at
have.
all. That's true. That's the point, right?
Yep.
Champions. Well, how did you get into endurocross? How does a gentleman like yourself from Nevada, you know, you've been with RPM for 3 years. Obviously, you were doing stuff before that. Like, how do you get into endurocross? How do you get under the radar of guys like Mike that runs the RPM team and stuff such?
Well, I grew up racing off-road my whole life. I did
Okay.
the WORCS series.
Right on.
And my trainer at the time was also training Justin Soule.
Oh,
and
okay,
Justin
yeah.
Soule, he was racing endurocross. And so I always was good in the technical sections of the WORCS races and stuff like that. So he approached me and said, hey, why don't you try riding endurocross? And I never thought about it. I was only 16, and
Yeah.
I went to Las Vegas for the round one and loved it. I sucked at it and I wanted to get better. So we started building a track, and it just went from there.
Oh, dude,
That's
I
awesome.
totally understand that. Have you had it? You guys did the crappy
The janky
crappy ones in Oklahoma.
endurocross. Yeah.
Yeah, they're the last one, that one that James and Tiffany and I went to in Las Vegas. Oh my God, kicked our ass.
Yeah,
No, Ty,
imagine.
literally. I went out there for the first practice. No, I went out there for two different practices. So the first practice, I made it 3/4 of a lap, right? And I've done endurocross before. Like this was just like, it was so much tougher than any of the other enduro, like the national series that I've done before. I went out for the second lap and I made it literally halfway around and got stuck on an obstacle in the matrix. I was stuck in the matrix. I mean, I trashed my radiator. My pipe was just shot to shit. And I said, you know what? I'm going to the bar. And so I just loaded the bike up and I dropped my gear and went to the bar. And like 10 minutes later, everybody's seeing me like out of my gear with the Crown and Coke, and like, what happened? I was like, I quit. I was like, that's what happened.
Proud of it.
Yeah, good God, I was so happy to be done with that. That has got to be some tough stuff, man. So no trials background then.
No, I actually bought a trials bike just to try to better myself in endurocross. So I have a trials bike and I ride it every now and again, but no no previous trials experience.
All right, somebody in the chat room just said, please stop saying Nevada like that. So is it the way I'm saying Nevada or the way you're saying Nevada?
Yeah, us Nevadans say Nevada.
Nevada? Is that like Haker and Hacker?
Yeah, hey.
Yeah.
Hey now.
Hacker.
Some of us have accents, and we say Nevada.
Nevada. So it's like, it's a serious A.
It's a serious A. I mean, I've seen shirts that say it's Nevada, not Nevada. I've seen bumper stickers. It's like a Nevadan thing.
Well, I'm glad that the Nevadans let us know. I mean,
yeah, we
I don't know if I'm going to change the way I say it, but...
That's funny, too, though, because, like, everybody, like, you hear people from outside of New Orleans, they're like, New Orleans. Like, they'll hit every syllable, but what you don't realize is that people from Louisiana are lazy. So it's New Orleans. Like, it's just like it's just like thing. And that's like the key. And probably just like for you guys with the Nevadans, Nevadians, is that it's kind of this like, there's this weird homegrown way to say it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I understand, stick to your roots.
We'll keep making fun of you, though. It's fine.
We'll say it like the rest of the country does.
Yeah.
I know.
Okay. Yeah, let's go with the other 49 states, buddy. Screw what you guys do locally, okay? I like it. So, dude, we got a whole enduro cross season ahead of us. We got more races than we've had before. We're hitting more East Coast races. All kinds of fun stuff is going to be going on this year. How are you going to take a lot of the momentum that you've now built up with what you've learned doing the Super Enduros this year and bring that into the big boy class that you've been competing in at the Enduro Cross?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely learned a lot. I think the most is just having confidence on the bike. Previous years, I've kind of had the mindset that I'm racing with my idols, and so I haven't tried racing them back. And now I'm at the point where I know that I have the speed because I see it in my lap times, and I just need to start showing those guys that I'm actually there to race, not just to fill the gate.
Right.
So I think that's my biggest mindset now is not showing up and, being amazed with who I'm racing against, but showing up and being amazed at who I could potentially beat.
Wow, dude, that's so
awesome.
Smart. That's got to be tough. It really does. It's so funny how at the same time, like, and it doesn't happen all that often, obviously, but I do get a chance to make it to some of the races that happen outside of Texas. Mm-hmm. And whenever that does, the first time that I'm like, Cody, what's up? Like, I say it like we're buddies because we talk on the show or whatever, stuff like that. And then I'm just like, God, I really hope he responds. He doesn't just like blow me off. Like, what's cool is you guys are all so nice. Like we got a chance when we were there for Atlanta. We just got to talk to everybody. Like,
and we talked about, like, I even was talking with Cooper and stuff. It's like, man, those guys from the West Coast, they're nice. Like, I mean, we knew everybody on the East Coast was nice because we hung out with them. But we're like, they're nice over there too. It was like a shocker to us, but yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, we don't. I guess typically us third coasters don't really get too much. Like, we'll get some East Coast, but the West Coast guys never get a chance to really make it here. And obviously, we barely get a chance to make it to the West Coast.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
maybe one day we'll just have oodles of money. Fly guys like Ty
one day
from Nevada. Nevada. Now I don't even know how I'm saying it. It's just all over the place here. So bike. Why did you choose? What bike are you riding? One. What kind of modifications have you made to it, and why did you make those choices?
Right now in the States, I'm riding a 350, and I like that better for all the bottom end power I get out of it. Endurocross is getting to be a lot more jumpy, and I like the 4-stroke power a lot better for that.
Okay.
I'm going to ride the 300 2-stroke in the Extreme Enduros because it's a lot lighter, and I could run it without the Recluse clutch. I run the Recluse manual in the Extreme Enduro bike, but I use the Core EXP in my Endurocross bike. So that would, I think, is the biggest advantage for Endurocross is having that Recluse Core EXP because I never stall. I can get through the rocks a lot easier. And then obviously the Stillwell suspension has my bike riding like butter everywhere. And then my FMF pipe getting that power to the ground. And then my Maxxis tires hooking me up. So, I mean, everything on my bike has a purpose, I think, for sure.
Absolutely. That's cool. Now, for those of you who do know about Maxxis, Kenda actually makes a wicked gummy tire. So, because Kenda is a huge sponsor of Seat Time, I just got to remind people that there are options. And if we were to ask you to choose one, you'd want to go pick up some of those prototype Kenda tires and give them a try on your enduro cross track.
That's really true, though.
Was that too shady? I mean, I kind of wanted it to be fun. I don't know. It was like, can you tell that I'm goofing at the same time being serious? I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll watch.
We'll
it
let
later.
everybody else decide.
Yeah, you guys tell me what's up. Great question by Cooper Bailey in the chat room and also in the room. What's the advantage of not using the Recluse for the extreme races?
Well, I still run the Recluse. It's just the manual, so it has the full feel of the clutch. And I feel like for doing like splatter features and stuff where the Core EXP might struggle in the two-stroke, I just like having the full feel of the regular clutch in my two-stroke. Okay, I think it's just a two-stroke versus four-stroke personal preference.
So with the Recluse manual, is that kind of like if you were to go get a Hinson clutch? It's a clutch. It's a clutch like we know and love. It's just that it's Recluse's better version of stock?
Exactly, yes.
Okay, all right.
And you get a sweet clutch cover.
Ugh.
Speaking of.
I know. Yeah, we were just talking to Thad Duvall. Like, he's like, I don't really have too many aftermarket parts on the bike and stuff. And I told him, I was like, dude, you need to get a clutch cover with the Seat Time logo on it. Easily adds 10 horsepower.
So now we're selling that like we own it.
Yeah. No, it's the truth. So, I mean, if you're looking for bling.
If you're looking for 10 more horsepower.
Yeah, I can drop EPS logos to anybody. We'll find a CNC guy.
We'll get it figured out.
We'll make it happen.
Get her done.
Get her done. That's what I'm talking about. So, oh my gosh. What extreme enduros are you going to be doing? That's a really, because you mentioned that. And is the RPM team going to be able to support you overseas for some of that? Or how is that going to work out?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, in our contract, me and Cody, X Games and Erzberg were in there, but this year they conflict. So we were planning on hitting X Games and Erzberg, but we can't now. So we'll for sure be at the Tennessee Knockout. And then Last Dog Standing. A lot of clubs and groups of guys are just putting on awesome races that are getting bigger and bigger. Unfortunately, one of the Super Enduros conflicted with King of the Motos, which we would have loved to do. So. Yep. I'd say the biggest one we're going to focus on this year would be not the Last Dog Standing. That one will be big, but the Tennessee Knockout.
Yeah, Tennessee Knockout's a lot of fun. I finally got a chance to make it there last year and watch Cody. Holy moly. Like, it was ridiculous. Dumb. It was the speed that guy puts down, and what's crazy is he's one of the guys that he looks like he might just be like puttering by you. Like, but then you see other guys come by in that same section, and you see them struggle, and that's when your mind starts to go, oh, Cody was fast. Like, that's what fast looks like in some of this crazy-ass shit. So it's just insane what that guy can do on a bike.
It's nuts, yeah.
So how much have you learned from the great Cody Webb?
I'm trying to learn a lot. He comes up to my house, I go to his house. We try to ride as much as we can. It's always better to ride with other people. I think for me to try to catch up to him, and then when he's lapping me, he's got to pass someone, so that's good practice.
I like it. So, well, if you ever need like a test dummy, you can fly me out there, and I can kind of like be the guy that you have to practice passing.
Yeah, that's actually a great idea.
Yeah, I mean Jordan's pretty good at being that test dummy too.
I'm great at being passed,
but she'll even show you some pretty wicked ways to pick your bike up when you fall.
I can do that.
She's being a girl, and I say that. In fact, not like
I actually am.
Not like a knock. Like, oh, she's riding like a girl. She's riding like a person with a vagina. That's just what happens. She's a little bit weaker than us people with penises.
It's true.
What it is. So she's got some techniques there. You probably don't want to learn them, but they're fun just in case. You never know what's going to happen on an enduro cross track.
Pass them on to your future girlfriend.
Yeah,
you know,
it's
whatever.
like, oh, you've got a vagina. Let me show you to pick up your motorcycle.
Hey, that's good for all people.
That could be a pickup line.
Maybe.
I mean, if you're picking up chicks at tracks, they probably find way better ways to pick them up than using that line. But I don't know. I mean, Ty, we've got all kinds of advice for you if you're willing to stay on and listen. So it's all.
He's like, oh, my computer shut off.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. It just stopped.
Skype's breaking down.
We broke the internet.
Yeah.
The internet broke us. That's what happened. It's
yeah.
unfortunate.
Yep.
Well, dude, you've done a great job. I have to say, very, very impressed. I'm so stoked that not just you were able to get a chance to win the Super Enduro Junior Championship, but of course that you were able to do it with the RPM team. I think a lot of people don't give that team much credit. Kind of like we're seeing right now with Thad Duvall doing so well with the KR4 guys. It's great to see a team that's not considered that's just not considered a top level team.
Yeah.
You know, being able to put out results like you guys are doing that. So great job, dude. And we look forward to being able to watch you the rest of the year. And be able to turn 21 and see if your career goes up or down, you know?
Yeah. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
Yeah, dude. Well, hey, thanks for being on the show. Do you know what Ty asked me earlier on?
No.
It's like, so what is this?
You've never watched Seat Time before?
I don't really, where I live is kind of
No internet?
semi off the grid
Do you
ish.
hear those excuses?
I mean, in South Carolina, sometimes they have to drive to the gas station to even get service, and they still know what we are.
Yeah. I mean, we've got guys that come on the show in Starbucks. We've got guys kicked out of Starbucks on the show.
There's no excuse, Ty. No
So,
excuse.
Now that you know, you're going to have to beat our
Now
door
that I
down to
know.
get back on the show.
We're just
All
messing
right.
with you.
No, dude, seriously. Great job out
Good
there.
job.
We look forward to having you back on the show, and we'll definitely chat with you soon.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys.
Later,
See
man.
ya.
See ya.
Peace.
He's like, I'm never going back on there.
Yeah, he's like, those guys are crazy. So, man, we didn't get a chance really to talk about what we did this past weekend. Let's hit some of that really quick before we go too long and everything.
Alrighty.
So talk to us a little bit more about the Zinc Ranch 2-day enduro that you and the fam family got a chance to do.
Alrighty. Well, 2-day turned to 1 day.
Yep.
We were heading up to Tulsa Friday night and heard via Facebook that they were canceling Saturday, weren't sure about Sunday. And so a lot of people were on there kind of getting a little irate, saying they were traveling, 12 plus hours and they were not coming, turning around, going home. We were already halfway there, so we said, screw it, we're going up.
Yep.
So that's what we did. Hung out with a good friend that just moved to Tulsa from Tennessee, which was awesome. Thanks, Breha, for letting us crash at your place.
Yeah. How was Breha?
Breha was good. Awesome. And then went out to the track Saturday. Looked wet, very muddy.
That looks like rain is here. Yep.
Yeah, so we raced Sunday. It was fun. It was gnarly. Supposed to be 90 miles. I made it about 33. Heading to the second loop. Couldn't make it up the gnarliest. The gnarliest section of the track was on the transfer trail to the loop, to the start of the loops. And I couldn't make it up at the second time. Bent my gear shifter and called her a day.
Yeah.
But I think more than 50% of the racers DNF'd. Wow. But it was fun. It turned out to be a pretty good day. Bummer though out was I know we kind of chatted about this a little bit. So they canceled Saturday's race.
Right.
We pre-entered, paid a lot of money to race, and
I'd say about $100 for both days. Was there a little bit more?
yeah. So we paid for 3 entries, so it was about $170, and for Saturday.
Right.
And then they said they weren't giving money back, no refunds.
Yeah.
Even though they canceled the event. So
Yeah,
that's a
tough.
big bummer for us, especially, I mean, we're broke college kids just going out trying to have fun these days. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I wanted to chat about this just for a little bit too, because the big thing is it's obviously not a controversy. There's no that kind of weird stuff. It's just like where it gets touchy is that the race organizers are the ones that canceled the event. So it's like
Right.
if you or I or Cooper or any of us were to go registered for an event, and we go out there and we're like, we're going to show up, we're going to race regardless, whatever it is, we're going out for the conditions. We're going to go race a muddy race. Oh, but then like we get there and then we're like, you know what? That's too much mud. I'm not doing it. That's dirty.
Yeah.
And you turn around and go home. The $50, $40, 50, whatever it is,
It's
you're
a
like,
wash for us, yeah.
That's a wash at that point. That's understandable. But I do feel that maybe when the organization is the one that cancels the event and that day, just that day of racing doesn't happen anymore, that essentially that race doesn't exist, then yeah, I mean at that point, like it's like why then is their money kept? Because I get that that there was time put in, that money was helped to put in part of the pot. all that kinds of stuff. But in the long run, that's also money that people were put into race that then those promoters canceled that race. And that's one of the big things that goes into those meetings and why it takes so long sometimes for people to figure out, do we cancel the race?
Yeah.
Do we let people race anyway? Do we say, we're just going to go give you a 10-mile course because it's nasty and muddy and hopefully you guys have fun? Yeah, just go
have fun, yeah.
Yeah.
And I understand. I mean, we've promoted races and sometimes, I mean, the conditions are totally out of your hands and you got to do what you got to do. And I think they made the right decision to cancel Saturday, as nasty as it got on Sunday. Sunday wouldn't have happened if they had Saturday. And so, I mean, I understand that, but I don't think the racers have to take that hit.
Yeah. And that's, it's up to speculation at this point. Like, the forums say that's unfortunately not going to happen. So, but definitely, if you guys have been in a situation like that, we'd like to know about it. Have you been to races that have been canceled? Have you had a chance to does money get taken back normally? How does that kind of work for you guys in some of the local series that you have been to? Obviously, we have comments. On YouTube, we've got comments on the website. Everybody can kind of chime in there. We'd love to know what you guys think about that. It'd be interesting to just kind of see maybe what is the norm. Maybe we're, we just seen things different down here in Texas, which obviously could be the case.
I mean, we do say Nevada.
Nevada.
But other than that, we had a great weekend. I mean, the test sections were awesome. They were fun, and
that's cool.
Yeah, it was.
Good.
It was.
Apparently that place is awesome, and it sucks to have missed it. And I do hope that there is a chance that they do get a national next year, as they were.
That would be awesome,
because that would be a lot of fun.
And I got to give a shout out to Cooper's dad, who raced the senior A class, overall ate it. Totally kicked some hiney, but
if anybody looks up the name Scott Bailey when it comes to racing dirt bikes, they're gonna realize that there's a picture of like the words "badass" next to that.
Yeah,
so
it's
it's understood. So,
how was your weekend?
Should refund unless race starts. Well, there's one. There you go. This was awesome. Went to TCCRA on Saturday. Luckily enough, waking up a little bit late, just kind of, okay, well, we're not going to Oklahoma. We'll take our time. Got at the TCCRA, whipped out the 350. I was like, bitch, you're about to get muddy. And we did. We got her nice and muddy. I spent a good hour with a stick trying to scrape stuff off. Just so Sunday it was, 10 pounds lighter opposed to 50 pounds heavier. And lots of fun. I mean, I really enjoyed that 350 way more than I thought I would. A lot more than I thought I would. So I'm super stoked on the fact that that's kind of like what we decided to do.
Yeah.
Just really, really enjoyed the bike. Enjoyed the time. My wife is a saint. The fact that she can handle those kids in that cooped up little RV is insane. And my parents, they did purchase an RV once they moved down here, and they let us use it, which is awesome. And man, my wife is awesome. Like I don't know how she does it.
Yeah.
So, because I did 3 laps on Saturday and then obviously raced what's full. Oh, okay. So I don't know how many of you guys out there have kids. If you do, so I have our oldest is an 8-year-old, and she could sleep for half the day, easy, 12, 13, 14 hours if we let her. I get up 7 o'clock, get my coffee, start eating, start getting ready, all that kinds of stuff. Race is about 8:45, 9 o'clock. Get done with the race about 11:30. Back at the truck about 11:45. De-gear, get out of the shower. I get out of the shower, quick shower, by the way, and that's when she wakes up. That's when she opens the curtain from the top bunk and is like, "Good morning," and I go, "Really? Really?" I was like, that's why it's so quiet, because you're still asleep. I was like, are you kidding
That
me?
is awesome. That's a girl after my own heart right there.
Holy moly. Like, that was just insane.
You're like, so did you enjoy the races?
I was like, man, Liam and Nora and Tam were out there, like, watching. They were jumping on the four-wheeler and checking stuff out. I just assumed that she brought the older daughter, too. But no.
Just snoozing away.
How awesome is that?
That's awesome.
That's insane. So we're looking forward to the National Enduro this weekend.
Yeah,
so round 3 of the Kenda National Enduro Series is going to be here in Texas.
Home track advantage.
I know, home track
We'll
advantage
see.
means
Home
we're
track.
not going to totally suck.
Yeah, maybe.
I wish I had Rick Emerson on my road, though. He was the gentleman that I rode with when we rode this property for the Enduro a couple months ago, 2-3 months ago.
Back in November,
and
I think.
my gosh, like the dude hit the speed he kept, for whatever reason, motivated the crap out of me. And I somehow, majority of the day, was able to keep him, in sight. And obviously by the end of most tests, he was able to, get good 20, 30 seconds ahead of me, so out of sight. But man, it was so much fun trying to keep up with that guy.
Yeah.
So I wish that I could be on a row with him, but I think he's like on 80.
Oh, yikes.
And I'm not.
Yeah,
So
you're up in the,
I'm not switching.
you're up in the front.
I know. I'm on 24 with Russell Bobbitt, so I should have.
Hey,
a good
there's your
time.
motivation.
No, that's like
That's just
that's
that's
following
like soul
dust is
crushing
what
right
that
there.
is. Yeah, there's just nothing there for me, man. But I do. What's crazy? So I'm in the 30A class. Whatever the vet A, whatever. I can't remember what.
Not quite the senior, but
Yeah, not yet. We're working on it. Not yet. But I think I've got an open A guy, a couple 250A guys.
Oh, that's gonna be good.
We're all A guys. So if it's any, I've already decided. And obviously Russell Bobbitt. So Russell Bobbitt, he's obviously that's the pecking order. Bobbitt is just it. And then after that, I'm literally just gonna start last because I got nothing to prove. I don't need to be anybody's way. And obviously when guys come from behind me, I'm just gonna pull over, all that kinds of stuff. But if for some strange reason what I would love is that one of these 250A guys or one of these open A guys is that kind of Rick Emerson speed where they're like, yeah, they're faster than me. They're going to do better than I am. But it's just that kind of that hair to chase.
That's always good. That's always
so
fun.
I hope that that's the way it works out. And if it doesn't, I'll have fun chasing everybody down as they pass me. But
yeah, my motivation is Hannah Otto's 10 rows behind me, and we used to race together. And I'm like, okay, I got to stay in front because that's 10 minutes, but I haven't been on the bike in a long time. And
what are you talking about? You just raced 33 miles.
Yeah, 33 miles, woo. But yeah, that's my motivation right there. So
I like it.
There you go, Hannah. There's your motivation. Come get me.
Oh, snap. Called out on seat time. I like it.
No, not really called out, but more like she's going to get me.
Oh. There's your motivation that you're going to get me. So she doesn't really have much motivation, does she?
I don't know.
You're bad at this game.
Just going to drink my
Let's
green
have some
Gatorade.
St. Patty's Day fruit. Sugar, candy?
That's not fruit.
No, that's not fruit. It's got the word sour in it, right? And it looks like apples.
We're prepping for the national.
It's the flavor apple. That's a fruit.
It's a fruit.
That's a fruit.
It's totally got real apples in there.
Liam would know that it's a fruit.
Corn syrup, sugar, wheat flour. Oh, apples.
Wheat flour. Oh, son of a. How many of those have I had?
Too many.
I would agree. Look at this, buddy. All right. So, everybody, thank you very much for paying attention to Seat Time. Sorry about the technical difficulties. Sometimes YouTube's just a bitch. We have to put up with it. That's what happens when you use free services with bad documentation.
Yep.
So, definitely thank you very much to Fly Racing for their support of Seat Time. You can check them out at flyracing.com. Obviously, Kenda Tire USA, huge supporters of not just Seat Time, but, of course, the National Enduro Series. The Enduro Cross Series, lots of other stuff out there. They do have a great website, kendatire.com. You can go check out their comparison chart, see what kind of terrain you're going to be riding in. Check out their tires. Definitely head to your local dealer and be able to purchase either Fly Racing or Kenda Tires while you're there. Or you can go to stillwellperformance.com if you enjoy supporting Seat Time. We would really appreciate you checking that out. What I like to tell everybody is I'm not telling you to go to Stillwell Performance and buy anything, because Alan Stillwell is a super educated man when it comes to suspension. And I know when a lot of people go, oh, I need to get my suspension done, they've got questions. Mm-hmm. And that's the way you want to start this conversation, period, is you want to go on there and tell them where you might be having problems or what you think you need to adjust. And he's going to be able to help you with that. And then I promise you, he's the one who's going to be able to talk you into reasons of why, you should have him be the one to do your suspension. So stillwellperformance.com, check them out. Definitely thank all those guys for their support. It's been a great year so far. We've actually seen a lot of rise in numbers, and we're very supportive. Thankful for you, the fans, and of course our supporters that have kind of made that happen. So
yep.
It's been a great time. You can find us at our website, seattime.co. It's where we post all the archive shows. That's where we're live right now. Other fun bits that you can find there. We're on the Facebook, facebook.com/seattime. Twitter, @seattime_CO. We are on Instagram, @seattime. Of course, we're all over just the socials.
Totally social.
Yeah. And if you're going to use a hashtag, Pintful of Awesome is just like, bam, all up in skit.
Yeah.
We will be back next week. We're going to talk about episode 160. Obviously, we will have the National Enduro to chat about. We're going to have the GNCCs coming back for another round. We're going to have Enduro Cross coming back, so we'll be able to talk to some more of those riders as they're prepping for that. Should be a good time. Well, hopefully you guys tune in. But up until then, remember to always enjoy a pintful of awesome. Jordon Bailey, thank you for coming back on the show.
Yes, absolutely.
And we'll see you next week.
See ya.
Peace.